Good day everyone, especially to you sir. I am April Joy B. Cabania and today I will going to discuss and give examples about diagramming sentences. And now, let's start! So diagramming sentences might seem complicated at first, but you'll quickly get the hang of it after our discussion and after we have our examples later on. Now, what is sentence diagramming? So sentence diagramming is simply visualizing how to fit together the different parts of the sentence. So, sentence diagramming enables us to visually understand the function of every part of the sentence, from which helps us to construct better construction of sentences. However, sentence diagramming is a form of sentence analysis which requires one to take the sentence apart and show relationship of the words to the rest of the sentence. Now, sentence diagramming is valuable for both English grammar students and teachers as it enables them to understand how sentence works by breaking it down to the component pieces. Basically, sentence diagramming forces the learners to identify the logical connections between different or various parts of a sentence. It's like a puzzle which is not solved until all parts are in the right place and none are left over. Now let's proceed to the basic rules in diagramming sentences that we have to remember. Now the first rule in diagramming sentences is identify the subject element. Number 2, place the subject, verb, and object together and underline them. Number 3, separate the subject with the verb with a vertical line that crosses the underline. Number 4, separate the direct object from the verb with a vertical line that does not cross the underline. And the fifth and the last one, keep adjectives and articles with the noun they modify and place them on the separate diagonal lines touching the word they modify. Now let's jump into the most exciting part of our discussion on how we diagram sentences. Now let's start from the very basic of sentence diagramming, the simplest sentence that consists of subject and verb. So the subject tells us whom the sentence is about, and verb tells us about the subject is or does. So the simple sentence diagram consists of two lines. You have to draw a horizontal line, then cut at the center via vertical line. The subject goes on the left side and the verb goes on the right side. This is something we have to remember. For example, Mylish sings. That's our sentence. So we have the subject Mylish on the left side and we have the verb sings which is placed on the right side. Another example, Christian dances. Christian, which is the subject, is placed on the left side and dances on the right side, which represents the verb. Now, how about diagramming sentences with modifiers, adjectives, and adverb? So adjectives are the words that describes nouns and pronouns, and adverbs that are words that describes verb, adjectives, and other adverbs. For example, two fat birds chirped. So the first thing we have to do is to identify the subject and the verb in the sentence. So our subject is birds and our verb is chirped. And we have two adjectives, two and fat. So we have to place these adjectives on the slanted line under the subject or the noun birds because two and fat describes the noun birds. Another example, the cute baby has been laughing. Again, first thing to do is to identify the subject and the verb on the sentence. So our subject is the baby and our verb is has been laughing. So, the is an article that should be placed under the subject. And we have the adjective cute that describes the baby. So, we have to place the adjective cute on the slanted line under the word baby. So how about adverbs? So adverbs is a word that describes verb, adjectives, and other adverb. So just like what we have discussed to the adjectives, so if we have an adverb, we have to place it on the slanted line under the word that they describe. For example, Cyrex ran very quickly. So in the sentence, we have to remember what is the subject and the verb. So our subject here is Cyrex and our verb is run. Now the words very quickly. So very quickly is actually our adverbs. Why? It answers or describes how Cyrex runs. So how did Cyrex run? Very quickly. So that is an adverb describing the verb run. So we have to place it on the slanted line. But Cyrex did not just run quickly. He ran very quickly. There is a certain degree, so this is another adverb that describes the adverb quickly. So here comes the reason why we have to know and be familiar with the different parts of speech, such as different types of adjectives and adverbs and so on, so that it would be easy for us to identify the words in accordance to its usage or the parts of speech, so that in diagramming sentence we can put words easily on its proper place. So going back to the sentence, we have to put very under the word quickly using another slanted line, as it describes the word quickly and quickly describes the word run. So that's how sentence diagramming works. You just have to know the different parts of speech for you to be able to easily diagram a sentence. Basically, you just have to identify the basic or the foundation, which is knowing or identifying the subject and the verbs. So adjectives and adverbs will be followed and be put under the words they describe. And that's all for sentence diagramming. I hope that you have learned something from our discussion and our examples. Thank you everyone for watching.